Welcome to the Mastering Fulfillment podcast, where we focus on bridging your success with fulfillment in your personal, business, and spiritual life. And now your hosts, Scott Berry and Joshua Wenner.
Hola, hello, buongiorno, and konnichiwa. Welcome to the next episode of the Mastering Fulfillment podcast. Today I thought I'd deviate from our long form format and wanted to discuss something that had just come up in my life. I had this great opportunity to see the world with new eyes. I just got back from a camping trip about a week ago, and I've mentioned this on the podcast before, that one of my passions is being a mentor, and I have been mentoring this young individual, this young adult who is now about to turn 22, and what started off as a one-year mentorship has now morphed into a 2-year relationship. And this past week, I had the opportunity, I invited my mentee to do something a little bit different. Normally we get together and we will kind of explore goals, we'll go out to dinner, sometimes we'll catch a movie, or we'll go to a ball game or something like that. But one of my big revelations with working with him was at the beginning of our relationship, what had initially started off as goal mentorship, career mentorship, leadership mentorship, quickly shifted to getting a little bit more comfortable into your own skin. And what I mean by that is he is an immigrant that came from overseas, and America, and English is not his first nationality, it's not his first language. And so part of my process that I've been realizing with him is for him just to get a little more comfortable in his skin as he's becoming more of his own adult. But how do you become more of your own adult when this isn't your first language? This isn't your first nationality. And so exposing him and introducing him to things that I thought he might enjoy, new experiences, things that I felt might stretch him, would help him grow. I had the opportunity and invited him to go camping over the weekend, and this is the longest excursion that we've done together. Normally, we get together for a few hours, but this was a full weekend, and I ran the idea past him and just to see if he would have any interest in spending the night outside and being around bugs and not being around the comforts. And so camping, being outdoors, even being in nature, these are all things that were radically different than what he was used to. It was just something that had not been in his paradigm. And so what was really interesting, and what I found interesting on a personal level, not just on an observational level through his experience, but what I noticed through me watching him see all of these firsts. So I took him camping, and these are things that I had been taking for granted for the last few years. I grew up with camping in my blood. I grew up skiing. I grew up with nature as a part of my life. And it was really interesting to see someone who had not necessarily been exposed to nature. And here's someone who was almost seeing certain versions of nature for the very first time with brand new eyes at the age of 21. I mean, it was just so spectacular to not only witness, but to be a part of. And so as we kind of went through this experience of this 3-day camping trip, I mean, here is a gentleman who slept in a tent for the very first time, slept outside for the very first time, had his first campfire, his first real hike that was outside of the city, his first s'mores. I mean, we're talking just about so many first. And, these are the times, and here's really what hit me on an emotional level of why I wanted to really create this really quick minisode is I think sometimes in life we really forget just how blessed we are. Sometimes we forget all of the amazing experiences, all the items, all the people, places, things that have cultivated over the years, all the beautiful things, and obviously all the challenges that help sculpt us as well. But I'm really talking about the beauty that has really come into our life and honoring the people. And I'm thinking specifically of my father and my mother and the whole family unit of the influences that allowed me to step into nature, that allowed me to, really see these pieces of life, of the world in such a way that has really sculpted me. And I just been taking such immense gratitude for the entire process of being able to see myself as someone who has grown and been crafted and influenced by nature and by all these wonderful, wonderful things. And that's not to say that, going camping or, being in nature is kind of a prerequisite, if you will, to having this fulfilled life. But I will say for those items in your life that really do move you on an emotional level, on a passionate level, those are the times when I look at who are my influences that really subjected me to that. And so, my fulfillment really came in twofold. One was really exposing someone to something in which I had a hunch, but I really didn't know if this was going to be something that was going to really resonate with him. Camping, and let's be honest, nature itself isn't something that really identifies with a lot of people. And to see him and just these big eyes and seeing the sky and the stars and having the food just taste that much sweeter. There's just something about being in the higher altitudes in which, having that dinner over an open fire just tastes so delicious. Was such a treat, and obviously this is, one of the beautiful experiences that parents go through, taking their child to Santa for the first time, or going to Disneyland, or having them watch their child learn how to swim. They're re-experiencing that through the eyes and the enjoyment of somebody else. It's such a beautiful thing. And I think it's that layering compound I just spoke about earlier, where you really get to have that compassionate experience through them, but then also relive and really sit in such immense gratitude for all the beautiful things that transpired. So just wanted to share my experience. And for, those of you who are kind of caught up in this busy trap, if you will, and I only say that because things have been incredibly really busy in the Berry household, and for us to just take a moment to remember to see the world with new eyes and to step away from the distractions and realize, like, wow, I really had an amazing life through all the ups and downs. There's just been a lot of beauty and a lot of gratitude through all of these experiences. And I just really took away just how much I've been privileged and how much I have really been honored this fantastic life, if you will. Really stands to reason how much we have such a rich and fulfilling life. So I wanted to leave that with everyone. We've got an amazing show coming up next week. Thank you so much. And as always, feel free to email us your questions. We have a questions and answers show coming up next week. So please send us any comments or questions that you may have. Josh and I had such a great time diving deep and answering those questions. Thank you so much, and see you on the next episode.
If you enjoyed this show, we would be so grateful if you left a review on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. This helps us out immensely. Thank you so much. Are you ready to take your personal, relational, or business fulfillment to the next level? With one-on-one personal support, co-developed strategies, and accountability, Scott and Joshua have the tools, compassion, and years of experience helping people just like you live an extraordinary life. Visit masteringfulfillment.com for details.